Jeff, take us through the first couple of trumpet judgments. This is what the book of Revelation calls them. They're actually judgments that God puts out. And just tell us why God puts these out. Sin is on the increase. We've got a leader that's indwelt by Satan that's ruling the world. And by the way, we got the technology to follow everybody that's already put up in China. You got facial recognition. If you fly into China, they can photograph you coming off the plane. They can follow you all the way to your hotel and what you're doing in the hotel and how you're spending your money. And you're going to have a global currency that they can find out what you're doing. And they also have a penalty system. If they don't like what you're doing, they can drop your social status on their computers. And the fact is, if you go to the drugstore to get medicine, you might not be able to get the medicine you want. If you want to get food, you can only get so much. If you can't travel out of China. So there's penalties, and we got the technology to do all of that that's already in China. And what I find is the European Union, a lot of their states are looking at that technology and says that's the model. But anyway, let's come back to this thing. What is God going to do in terms of judging the world that starts following this Antichrist and a false religion? What's the first judgment of the trumpet judgments?
Yeah, we come to the trumpet judgments, and basically God is showing the world that He's in charge of the world. You know, God created the world. One day He's going to uncreate the world, but God's telling humanity, I'm in charge of the world. I will bring these judgments. And the first two judgments we see there, John, is that vegetation is struck. There's ecological judgment on the world. A third of the trees are burned up. You think about these fires that you see across the world that are localized, they're going to be massive fires across the world that are going to be regional. Also, it says in the second trumpet judgment, the oceans are struck. A third of the ocean becomes like blood, and a third of the fish die. A third of the ships are destroyed as well. You think of the domino effect on commerce, on delivering food to the nations, and this is compounded. Back in the seal judgments, we talked about the famine that comes as a result of war. Now these ships of commerce are kept from going into port. So now famine is more increased. Think of the catastrophe that creates, the panic that creates, the anger, the violence that comes with that.
Yeah.
And this is all a part of the world, that's a part of these judgments.